Oh, in Jim Miller's garden, and I didn't comb my hair for this, but it's not about me. And I'm going to go through the garden. There's plenty gardening to do and look at. And here's my video. And enjoy and like and subscribe. Uh, get in the chat. I'm willing to chat, so let's go. Okay, here is my, well, I'm kind of called my Asian garden, and there's a bok choy, and here's a Napa cabbage that's really getting big. But I think it's going to start folding in and making a head. We'll see. It's looked promising because over here, these Napas have bloomed out. I mean, they look like that other one, but then they bloomed out. This one here bloomed out earlier, and it's got seeds on it. But I'll harvest the seeds and hold them and plant them when I need them. So it may all turn out good, but it's not what I expect. But I'll have seed for next year and years after. So here there's more. There's I think there's 4 Napas right here of different stages. Uh, you know, and hopefully these other two here will follow the direction of this one maybe going and making a head. And here is a smaller Napa, and it's smaller because I had to replant it because I had trouble with bugs and cutworms and stuff. And I had there was a week there where everything was really getting sick, and I don't know if it was like a fungus or bugs or both. And I thought everything was gonna crash and die, and some of it did. But now it's recovered. I've been spraying, and things are looking a lot better. Here is a bok choy, and I think it's a replacement from something that was there before. This might have been a cabbage before hill. Now it's I put in a bok choy seed. So here's some cabbages I planted. I wonder if some of these are replacements or not. This is probably a replacement. That one that died, it's got 2 cabbages in it. That one could be an original that I put in planters back in July, and here it's looking good. Uh, the thing is, what are they going to do? Are they going to bolt and go flower before winter, or are they going to put a cabbage on before winter, or they'll get towards making a cabbage head, and then kind of get dormant because it's cold and it won't grow much. And I'll probably have to pile leaves on these cabbages when it gets below 20 degrees or so at night, and we'll just see how it goes. I had cabbages last year over winter. It took quite a bit of work to keep them alive, but we had cabbage on New Year's, we had cabbage in March, and it worked out pretty well. So now here, this cabbage here, I think it was a volunteer. It's further along, and it's kind of folding in like it's going to try to make a head. And here is one of my original bok choys in the planters, and it really looked sick at one point. There were some of these little beetles. There weren't ladybugs that were eating on it, and they were just making it wilt and sick, and it pretty much died. But the center stayed alive, and then it came out and grew, and it's looking good. And hopefully it'll keep going and make a bok choy head. So I'm gonna have to research how to keep them going. Do I have to take a string to it to fold the leaves in or not? And I saw someone else's video on these. Got 7 viewers, and Nilade, I can't pronounce very well. Sichter says hi, hello. Effie Rose says hi. grow a garden. Yeah, everybody try a garden. You don't you don't need a green thumb. You just research and look at other people's videos and get some seed, or have someone give you seed, and start. And all you need is a hoe, a rake, a shovel, and rain, and a little, a little plot of ground. Or you can do it in planters too, and start a garden. So have at it. All right. I think I'm done with the Asian garden. And here is my sixth planting of sweet corn, and it's doing relatively well. Some of these stalks got real decent looking ears on them. And I think I counted yesterday that I'm going to get on each. This is a hill. This has got four stalks of corn in it. I plant 4 seeds to get 3 ears of corn. And I averaged it out, and it averaged out to be just a little bit over 3 ears per hill. And that's my goal every time I plant a hill of corn. These down here are probably not going to make much. This one's got a tiny bit of silks poking out, and the tassels are about, well, this one got pollen, and I'll drop it down on there on the 2 or 3 silks. I wonder if this one's got, well, there's some pollen here. This ear here, I moved the leaves out to get the silks. The silks were slowly emerging on these lower end corn. But if I had this ground here for a lot of things, this is new ground since last spring, or the spring of 2024. And this ground here, things don't grow as good here. It could be one of the factors is sunlight, or it's the soil. So next year I might try lettuce or something here that probably is very benign, doesn't need a lot of sun, and try some lettuce down here at the end and try that. This is my rescue marigold. Ooh, got 20 viewers. Orange juice, please. Yeah, I could use an orange juice. Says hi. Like and subscribe. Don't be shy. Like and subscribe. That's a pretty good rhyme. All right. This marigold, I was digging potatoes, I think right up there in the middle somewhere. And there was this marigold right in the middle of the potato hill. And I saved it, and I dropped it down here and watered it a few times. And look at it now, it's really pretty. So, these marigolds kind of originated up on the house, front of the house patio. And 2 likes, great. And the seeds washed down the driveway, and they ended up in the garden. And every year I get numerous marigolds growing in the garden. Something for the bees to mess with. And they're supposed to deter bugs. So anyway, they look pretty. And here is Nana's sweet potato patch. They're purple sweet potatoes. I already harvested them early in July, and I left the vines, and they've just kept going. And we're hoping that they'll there could be sweet potatoes there right now, or there could be nothing. So it's kind of like, well, I haven't watered them since I dug them. And it's rained enough to keep them going real good. And they really have these pretty purple flowers. The purple sweet potato flowers are really pretty. And it's invading other parts of the garden. It's climbing in the peppers and the tomatoes. It's they're encroaching on the corn, but I'm going to let it go because that corn will be ripe and harvested before they become a problem. Because they do root, the vines do root in the ground and take moisture out, but that corn should be gone. And when the corn is gone, I'll take scissors. I take a garden shear. I don't know what they call those, the kitchen scissors. They have serrated and they're very sturdy. And I just hand chop the corn as I harvest. So here, this is the end of this, and here's a volunteer tomato that is there. Oh, I got to keep these. I got to keep these out of the sweet potato pile, so I can, when they do get ripe, I can pick them. So yeah, that's part of that vine problem. They'll hide your harvest. And here are some sweet peppers. This one's ripe. There were supposed to be bell peppers or something else, but they are a sweet pepper. They've been kind of mediocre. I mean, oh, this one. See, and then they have a tendency to do this. For some reason, I didn't see this earlier. And I'll hold that. I'll try to hold it and do video somehow. Okay, perhaps your corn would be thrive using, oh, what's the three sister method? I have to look that up. Or Isanda Waves said that I never heard of the three sister method. So, I mean, I'm willing to try anything, and I've heard of a method where you can grow your beans in corn and it'll grow up on the corn, the climbing beans. And that's a method of if you don't have much space to grow beans, but I never heard of a Three Sisters method. Corn, beans, and squash. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, I do have a lot of room in the garden. I've expanded the garden about every year. And as we've been removing trees, other people have been removing trees. It's been getting better and better. And this pepper here, those bugs I were talking about in the Asian garden, they were a problem, and they were all over here on these peppers, and they were making them look sick. And now, especially now, they're starting to put peppers on again. It kind of slowed them down. They were actually on the yeah. There is a. I'll get this sweet potato vine. Okay, it's better place now. It's climbing in. It's climbing up the peppers, and it'll shade it out. And so there's getting to be more peppers again. They grow pretty good in the fall, and last year I had peppers up until November. What was it? November 29th of last year, before the frost came, and I had to harvest them all. But it was a real good pepper year. So this is this big plant that didn't put many peppers on until recently, and it's got a big canopy, and there's a lot of peppers growing on it. So I'm kind of happy with that one. And let's look at this tomato. These tomatoes turn yellow when they ripe, and I think they're a seed from yellow tomatoes from last year. There was a row of 6 yellow tomatoes. Those are looking good. And Nana said they taste good, so hopefully nothing goes wrong with them, and Nana will have more yellow tomatoes going into the fall. Speaking of fall, it's only like 3 days away, and the sunlight hours are like what I estimated Yeah, like currently, uh, if you think March 24th in the spring, this is the same daylight hours as March 24th. So you can kind of imagine. And last year I think I had most of my garden in by March 24th. I think we're about ready to leave for Australia. Yeah, I planted my garden and went to Australia and Indonesia with my wife for our 25th anniversary, and had a good time. But I had my garden in. I came back, it was weedy as can be, but I got it weeded, and I really didn't lose any time or anything else. And all right, well, and here's another volunteer tomato. I think I did move this one to the spot and planted it. There were cabbage. This was a cabbage row initially, and a couple of them died, and I put in volunteer tomatoes right here. And this is a cherry tomato that was volunteer, and I never grown cherry tomatoes, so it came in. I think the birds came in and pooped, and there's cherry tomatoes. I think I got 3 or 4 plants around the garden, and that's it for those. And we're looking over here. I need to get this squash and take it in. Nana got some squash for the hot. I don't know what that's about. I got a cellular notification, and I'm still on. Okay, yeah. Esvania waves. I don't know if that's correct. Yes. Oh yeah, Native Americans. Yeah, they're pretty much. They invented half of the gardening practices in the world, and they had it. I mean, that was their culture, and they built a great culture, because I think the majority of garden plants and vegetables are from like Central and South America, and they had a great. I mean, they had a great culture built around that. So, and I was talking about this squash. I think squash are from the Americas too, and this squash is hopefully. I got 3 in the house, and I think we're going to do hot pot this tomorrow, and one of my squashes is going to be part of that hot pot. So I'm kind of excited to see if Nana will like. I planted them there in June in pots, and I brought them to the garden. The vines are gone. I think this here is one little vine that's hanging on, but I need to take that one in. And here is some more a lot of Asian plants and cabbage. And here's some cabbages. These are replants, and because they died. And here's another one that might be an original. And most of these in this row here are replants, because cutworms and other things killed them, and I replanted them. And lately I've been having very little issues with, because I've been spraying, and maybe the cutworm season is going away. Here's another cabbage, a Napa that's blooming, another little Napa that's blooming. So a lot of these were planted at the same time, and some of them decide to bloom, and some of them I'm hoping they make heads. Okay, no more chats. I like to see chats all the way through my my video, but it seems like I get a few chats early, and then there's none, or very few later. Okay. And I think here's another Napa cabbage. It's one of the later ones. I planted a replant, and it's laying on its side. I hope it props it up. I watered this morning and it fell over, and it'll look better tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. Here's my 7th planting of corn, and I had 15 seeds left. I'm gonna have to buy some seed next year, and I planted them. I think there's 4, 3, 7, 11, 13. Yeah, 13 out of 15 seeds is pretty good. And this one here, it's got a little tassel in it, and this is the latest I've ever planted corn. And I think I'm very sure now it's gonna be it'll make some ears before frost. Let's see, we got until end of October for the earliest frost, and it's got a month, so they'll be certainly, I think in 2.5, 3 weeks there'll be corn to pick here, because it's getting a good. I planted them here because there's a nice opening morning sun spot right through there, and then the afternoon it gets all this pretty blue sky but sun later, and it looks good. It's doing good. I'm kind of concerned about these 4 here. They're a bit crowded, and there's some of that there's a fungus on the leaves, and I can't do much about it. I've tried baking soda and stuff, and it doesn't do much. Okay, here's some more little bok choy. All these are bok choy. And yesterday I moved that little tiny one from this spot, because there was 3 here, and I moved it over here because this plant here, it had 2 leaves, but it didn't have any more growth, and it's pretty much dying. So I replanted. Here's a little volunteer, one of my last volunteer tomatoes. And there's a few left. Very poor sunlight here, but a few more tomatoes. I wonder, I'll talk about the beans. There's a squirrel, my nemesis. Get out! Out! Woo! I'm gonna get you. There's other places to live. Oh, I hate them. They make good fertilizer. Hey, you want to be 219? No, 220. You want to be 220? I count them as I trap them and do away with them. You'll be 220. Okay, he's not listening. Those look like bricks. Who said that? Orange juice, please. Look like bricks. Yeah, I use bricks around the vegetables to protect them from squirrels and other things, and weather, and people like me. I step on my own stuff if I don't mark them. So 6 viewing, 3 thumbs up, great. Yeah, I use bricks and other things around plants just because they're available. This neighbor's yard here had a lot of bricks and stuff, and I mow that neighbor's yard, and there's a lot of bricks. There's a lot of bricks in the property. And these here was the curbing on the street, and we added a parking pad, and they cut a lot of concrete out, and I'm using them around stuff too. So there's a lot of bricks left here. There was probably there could have been a building right here where our house is, and this house is from built in the 1950s. There could have been a dwelling there or around here, because there's just in the soil. I'd be digging around, and I would hit a brick, and I'll dig it up and use it as for protection around plants. And I got a good number. And these huge rocks are from over on the neighbors, and I'm using them too. Oh, here's a little cantaloupe. I had some there's a cantaloupe hill. The cantaloupes were done, and I weeded around it, but I left the plant, and now we got a cantaloupe, so that's good. All right. And here's some grass. This is the grass from the neighbor's yard. It's rotting down. I use that to mulch around plants, and well, that's kind of tiny. That's a butternut squash. That was probably not going to be of any use. This one here might be okay. It's small, but I got lots of butternut squash to use, and I make pie. I use a pumpkin pie recipe with them, and that works good. And here's my sage. I hope it lives through the winter. I used to have sage in planters, but they just kept dying. Well, there was one that lasted 5-6 years, and it died. And then I had some planted last year. Well, actually, we purchased plants, and they died. I'm frustrated. And sage's supposed to be winter durable, so I might put some protection around it. I don't know about leaves, but maybe like a box or something, and then put leaves on top if I think it's going to be ruined or die from frost. So I'll just have to watch it. Here is another volunteer marigold, and it probably just washed off the concrete here and germinated. It's really pretty. Oh, and I went in the house. I think I took another pepper that looked like this, that needed to be refrigerated, and I was coming back out, and there was a couple hummingbirds flying around this bush, and they were getting nectar. So at least I'm creating a little bit of habitat for the hummingbirds. They're really shy. I mean, even if you look from inside the house, they'll fly away. I wish they just hang around. Okay, I'm gonna do this first. This pepper. Whoop, I dropped it. Oh man, that's not good. It's half rotten, but I'm gonna put it in the fridge for now. Okay, find a switch. And here's my tomato pie. I bring them in here and put on a card table to ripen. And these little ones are like most of them are little grape tomatoes that are over on the raised garden bed. And I'll stick you in here. And this is our spare fridge that's full of a lot of vegetables, onions, and lots of potatoes. And they put their hot pot stuff here. Here's some, what's the rice cakes. Rice cakes and lots of other stuff. There's some Napa. And I hope I get my Napa grows so they can eat it too. I've been using Napa leaves in the hot pot for myself. They're a little bit strong, but I put them with pork, sliced pork. It's like bacon cut, but it's raw pork. It's not cured out. It's not, what do you call it? What do you do with bacon? What do you do with a pork belly? What do they do to make bacon? But this is just, and I grill the pork and I season it, and I put these, the Napa leaves that I showed you earlier, and it tastes pretty good. I mean, I'm worried about the Napa doing this. This is a Napa that's in a bucket, blooming. I'm worried about those. I put a lot of work into that, and I'm going to try the leaves. And the leaves are okay. They're not really intended to be. And this is another plant here. This one might decide to do the right thing and make a head, but it's got a long ways to go. Okay. And here is some better looking butternut squash. This vine here on this single vine, it's got 3 large butternut squash. This squash came from a compost pile. I brought some from the neighbors on the other side over here. I asked her, what are you going to do with this compost? And she said nothing. And I scooped it all up and wheelbarrowed it over and piled it, and stuff started growing out of it. And one of the things was this this butternut squash. And at first I didn't know what it was. The leaves had the leaves pattern it looked like a interesting leaf pattern. And what the heck's that going to be? It's a butternut squash, but it might be mixed with pumpkin. So it might be kind of what I want to make pumpkin. It might be more a pumpkin-y pie. And so this plant here, what's this here? I think this is a watermelon hill. And it's a rescue plant. I think there was 2 watermelons coming up in that compost. And they're 2 different kinds. There's this solid green one. And I stuck one in the fridge yesterday. That was the same color. It's about 3 times as big. And I'm going to cut that today. And hopefully I cut it at the right time to have some good watermelon. And I've had last 2 years, my early watermelons, I would plant a watermelon hill, and they just don't do very good. And other years, I've had good success with watermelons. So what's growing here? This is just another. What happened to that tomatillo? There was a tomatillo over here. I guess it died and rotted back. And here was my onion row is right here. And 3 rows of onions, white onions, and this came up as I left the marigold. It'll look really pretty here in about 2-3 weeks. It's starting to flower, and there was a volunteer tomato, and I left it, and I'm using the marigold as a prop. So there you go. And there was another. I think there was 2 more butternut squash in that. They were around. I think I got those from somewhere over there. There was corn and in the tomato row, wherever. And I would find these little seedlings of. I didn't know what they were. This is kind of my rescue garden that I bring some volunteer stuff over, where the corn and onions were. The corn was here. And I put in these plants, and this is one of them. It was a tomato, and it turned out to be one of those cherry tomatoes. And here is a very nice looking watermelon. I'm going to cut that other one. This is your striped. Looks like its daddy maybe came from Walmart, and the neighbors ate I see that she throws out watermelons for ducks and chickens, and this is probably a seed from that. And it looks like your basic watermelon you see at the store right now. And probably my best watermelon of the year. Kind of late in the season, but it looks good. Where's the? I'm looking for the vine. I don't want to step on anything. Okay, is this? This is the vine. You look at the vine, and you look at the curls on the vine, and if they're dried up, here's one here. This is, well, what's left of one. This is dried out. So this one is probably right. And the vines climbed up the fence, and there's another. And I wanted some watermelons hanging. And I was prepared to take cloth or something to hold it. And here's another vine that went up there, and there were watermelons failed. So I don't think it's a moisture issue. I think it's just that it's getting late in the year, and there's already melons on the vine, so they don't. Watermelons usually do like one on a plant. They usually make one melon, or maybe up to 3 or 4, and that's it. So these just didn't work because it was lacking something. Okay, a lot of talk about that. Yeah, I planted 2 watermelon plants, and I think I'm going to get 3 watermelons. What's it look like? See, this curl here is still green, so this one's probably not ripe. It's probably full size, but it's not ripe. So I'm going to eat these first 2. I hope they're great, and then by the time I get them done eating, this one down here may be ready to pick. So, and here is, through this fence this is the neighbor's marigold. She got giant marigolds like 4 years ago, and they keep coming up in my garden. That's okay. And they really look in the fall when there's nothing else growing around. So, all right. 3 viewers. You are. Oh. Okay, try making a kiss. Oh, really? Oh, got plenty of chats. Okay, I'm going to read them. Orange juice, please. Those are the bricks. I went through that. And orange juice, please say nice. Well, nice house. Well, thank you. We got a nice house, that's for sure. And I'm very poor at keeping it clean because I'm doing this. I'd rather be gardening than housework. Okay, got 1 viewer. What happened? I'm still on cellular. 4 thumbs up. Maybe another wave of people. I must have bored the heck out of everybody, and they left in the rescue garden. I like my rescue garden. Now, yesterday, I transplanted 7 cabbages. I should go, and I don't know what they are. They're either Dutch, flat Dutch, or Wakefield. I'm going to have to go look at my container and see which ones they may be. And I got frustrated. They kept dying out, and I kept throwing seeds. And I said, "Here, I'm going to throw I'll pinch in the." They might be Wakefields. No, I don't know. They might be 3rd generation flat Dutch. Well, we'll see. But I got frustrated. I said, I'm going to plant a whole bunch of cabbage. Well, the cutworms will eat a few and leave, and eventually. But I got a bunch of seed, and they were crowded plants. And yesterday, I took a trowel and I dug up that hill and left one, and I think there was 2 hills. I think one hill had 6 cabbages and another hill had 2 or 3. and I took one from it. So out of 2 hills, I brought in over 7 cabbages, and I transplanted them. They look pretty sick yesterday in the sun. I've already watered them 3 times since I've transplanted them, but I think they're on their way. So they may not put a head on them. I might if things go kind of right, I might not need to plant many cabbages next spring. I'll have cabbages March. Who knows what it's going to turn out to be. So, okay. Next is the tomatoes. This plant here is probably a year old. It was a plant I brought in the house for the winter, and it's given me loads of these small tomatoes all through the spring and summer. And see, this here is looking, there's a bee. Hi, bee, or a bumblebee probably. And this is looking pretty sick, so just diseases. And there's white flies too. I'll go over here and look for. Right here, these are white flies, and the sprays I use don't really do anything to them. And they come in here in the fall and mess with the squash vines and the tomatoes, and I think they suck the juice out. But the tomatoes, if they're healthy, they kind of shake it off and keep putting on tomatoes through the fall. I'm starting to get a good number of green ones here again on these the main rows are Celebration and Beefsteak. And here's a little butternut squash. It started up there somewhere and it crawled through, and that could be a part of a pie if I need it. That tomato's that's about 8 feet high. And these have all broken down. I just got tired of, I was kind of say, well, it's late in the year. As long as the tomatoes are off the ground, and the tomatoes won't rot, so I'll just keep an eye on them. And here is I think this is a cantaloupe, a volunteer cantaloupe, but it's really late in the year. If it don't freeze for 2 months, it may do something. It's got a pretty good lighting, so I'll just leave it and see what happens. I'm not going to water it. It's got to make its own way. I said, I'm not going to water something that's going to fail. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at these messages about this. The 3 sisters method, the squash, the corn, the beans. Yeah, I get that. I've seen pictures and I gave it some thought. Well, this is a version of it. This is like the 2 sisters method. Okay, this is my, what was it? 4th corn? No. 4th, 5th. Yeah, this is where my 4th corn was, and on 2 of the corn hills, tomatoes started. I left the tomatoes, and I tied them to the corn stalk. And then the corn stalks, the tomatoes were getting heavy, and the corn stalks were getting rotten, and they fell over. And then I took a couple sticks, and I dug a hole, and I put them in and put the dirt and packed it in like a post. And I tied the tomatoes back up, and here we go. They're looking great. I don't see much worm damage, and they're just smallish, medium-sized tomatoes, but it was worth that effort. Tied up, and there you go. Okay, more Asian garden. And this is an area where this building blocks the sun in the afternoon. And I did different types of scenarios where if the if it's, if some of these other areas had too much sun and they didn't grow right, and this has got less sun, it may do better or worse. So here, there's 5 here. There's 5 bok choys of different sizes. I think there was a place here. There was a row of bok choy here, but there's a where's that pipe at? There's a drainage pipe, plus other water came down through here and washed a couple hills out, and I replanted here instead of, and there you go. The row's offset, but the area's filled in with bok choy. I think there's 5 bok choys. Here's some napas that they're looking good. And here is some broccoli rabe. It's from Nana's seed. And I was the seed was pretty old. And I'm testing the seed out. I have planted the broccoli rabe before several times, and it failed every time. This is looking a little better than that. So, but next year I'm gonna try more broccoli rabe. Now that I know that the seed is viable, and plant it a little thinner, and it'll probably do okay. Because this looks pretty good. It grows up like broccoli, and it puts a little head on it. And what Nana does, she takes it and puts it in the pot and boils it. I don't like greens boiled very much, but she does. So I'm trying to get her some broccoli rabe this fall, and it might not be enough to really mess with, but it's an experiment. Here's a couple more napas. These 2 look pretty good. I hope they fold in and make they don't really make a head. They make a cluster of leaves. They make a bunch of leaves, and they're really tasty after you put them in the hot pot. So here's one of my older napas. I hope that better not be flowers. I don't think it is. It's looking proper. It's looking like, this is one of my older napas. What's it had? It had, a groundhog came over here and it cut the top out once, and it's had disease problems, bug problems, and it's carried on, and now it looks real good. Look, at some of these older leaves are all beat up because it survived, it made it. And here's more. Oh, let's see what kind of cabbage those are. But those might not be the right ones. Well, these are Dutch. They say they're, I know this one's a flat Dutch, but these others are replants. I could have just grabbed some, I did plant some more. I did a time or two plant, I had this little soap cup from, I think it was, what is it? OxyClean. Yeah, an OxyClean cup. And I used that cup, and I put some seeds in it, and my initial, I had some cabbage. The cabbage was right here, right in this area. It was cabbage. There was the ones I grew over the winter, and some of them flowered, and I collected the seed, and I took some of those seeds, and I planted them in pots, and then I transplanted them in the garden, and a lot of them died out. and these smaller ones are replants. And this hill here had 6 cabbages, and I left this one, and I took over, was it 6? Yeah. Was it 6? 5 or 6, whatever. And I planted them, so I got, and if if one of those over there die or something else gets eaten. I've got, there's several places where I got doubles, and I may just dig one up of anything. I just hope I don't have any more cutworm issues. These plants are getting pretty big, and the cutworms haven't cut one of them off yet, so we'll see. I think there's five cabbage hill. That's a lot. I mean, I might be just totally overloaded with cabbage if everything works out right, but you know, it's better to have too many than not enough. And I tried my sauerkraut a couple days ago from the spring cabbage, and it's pretty good. So I did these tomatoes. Well, this on this side here, I got 4 viewers. I didn't chase everybody off. I'm going to, well, I'll be around an hour and 20 minutes at the most. I got about, I'll probably be going through stuff another 10-20 minutes. Here is on this side is the beefsteaks, and they pretty much look like they were going to quit, but this corn was shading it too much, and I cut the corn down, and now they're putting on. This one here looks great. It's got tomato. It's not organized, but it's got tomatoes all over, and the foliage looks pretty good. And this one never really quit. I think it was on the end of the row, got a little more sun. It's got a lot of little greenies on there. So this one's got greens. What's this one look like? This is the next one. And it's a lot of white flies. The white flies are trouble. And what I spray on it doesn't. I spray some. Oh, here's a tomato. It's got a tomato on it. So that one's got a tomato. This one's got a good number. Okay. And this one is so disorganized, I don't even know where it is. It may be done. These others got flopped over on top of it. Let's see, this is the pole. I think you're done. Wait a minute, what's this down here? You're from, oh, this is it. This one is that, boy, I'll try to get it over here where it gets better sun. Okay, that one's still viable. It doesn't have tomatoes yet. Maybe next week. This is what is this? I'm doing inventory. What is this? Okay, this stringy mess is the other row of a celebration, and this has got tomatoes from that. I think this plant is gone. Lots of marigolds here. Now, this plant here, I think it's a cross between the giant marigolds and my marigolds, the little flat ones that are over there. And you can see giant ones there too. But this looks like a cross. It's a huge plant, and it's taken forever to bloom, but now it's starting to bloom. This, in a few weeks, may be a massive yellow flowering place. So, no, that's from over there. Here's this tomato. It's got a little sprig. It's still alive. That's doing. It may do something later, but who knows? I'm getting over here. Boy, I bet, well, there's 5 people watching. I don't know. A stream of conscience. Okay, this tomato here, this beefsteak, it's got a little sprig left. And right here, it may rain just a little bit, but it comes down the driveway, and it does water this front of the garden real well, so I'm not too worried about these marigolds and these few tomatoes on the end lacking water. See, these marigolds are looking good. This giant marigold is kind of falling over, but it's looking good. It's pretty. And this one, later one, is it'll flower out here over the next few weeks. So I'm done with this section. And here is my potted plants, volunteer tomatoes that I put in. You know, the neighbors over there had a bunch of pots blowing around the yard, and I brought them over and I'm using them. So here's a daddy pineapple. This is the daddy pineapple to that one that's got a pineapple on it. That's looking pretty good. A pineapple in East Tennessee. That might be tasty. It's not going to be much. It's kind of looks beautiful. So, and this here are nightshade berries. Oh, I have to take the stems off. They're in pots too. They just volunteered into the pot and I left them. I jumped in the pot and I left them. Here's a tomato. Where's that? That's out of that pot. I think this one here is all nightshades. Here's another pot that's nightshade. I think the tomato might have died. I want that. See, look at the berries go flying off. And I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a nightshade weeds all over next spring. More tomatoes. Pretty good number of tomatoes on these potted stuff. And the toilet tank's got nice. This one is in the next picking. Then the toilet itself's got a bunch of tomatoes. Its foliage is, well, there's still a few sprigs. Here, this here needs to be, I'll bring this up and keep it off the ground. And a bucket tomato. I'm gonna look at these because there was a big tomato on this plant, but it had ant rot, and I had to take it in and I threw it in the chili I just made because it would have been just. There's 3 on there. I don't see any issue with them yet. This plant's pretty much giving it up. White flies. Okay, here's how many of these I got? I got 6 of these volunteer tomatoes, and most of them came from right in there. And I would dig them up with a shovel and just bring a whole pile of numerous tomato seedlings and just drop them in a hole. And here, this is a nice looking tomato from those. I'm really like these tomatoes. There's some good ones. Okay, there's a tomato up there. I'm not going to extend any more of these tomato trellises. I'm just going to let them dangle because the season's ending. This one here, we've got a few. They're kind of, these middle 2 here are kind of died out. But they may just kind of pick up again and keep growing. The tops here look pretty good. Oh, here's one that's pretty ripe. Next picking. And these last 2, what is going on here? This is just a vine. That doesn't have anything on it, so I'll let it back down. I might get bored and take this and tie to that stick that's up there. But these are just hanging. There's no problem with that. There's a ripe one there. We're getting ripe. How do I get out of here? I'm getting over on this last one. And 2 viewers, come on, let's have some chats. You have it. Okay, there's no more. Okay, those look good though. Uh, I'll I'll probably tie that up eventually. And I might. This one's hardly worth tying up. These are. This here's not looking very healthy. Oh, why are you slipping? Oh my! I'll try to get you. Ah! I'll get you. I'll cheat and. No, you stay over there. Okay, it's good for now. It must have been tied up in there and it slipped out. Okay. I guess I'm doing a little, what do you call it? Logistics and looking things over, doing a YouTube live stream. Okay, those are nice looking. I'm trying to work up enough of an appetite for my chili, so bear with me. Okay, a few other things. During these videos, I find a lot of garden issues because I pay more attention to the. Okay, this needs to be tied up again. Let's see. I have a trick where I stick the tomato behind another vine and it sort of supports. And I'll wrap this. The wind will come up and knock it down, but I'm trying to keep this off the ground like that and know that it's there. Just a volunteer tomato and an old squash hill that the squash have been gone for a month or so. So it's still here, but the squash are gone. And there's squash down here. Those are, I need to probably cut them and bring them in the house. These 3. My battery's going to run out before my live stream's over, maybe. Okay, this is a nice looking green pumpkin, but it's got only 5 weeks to get yellow, and I don't think it's going to make it. Here's a bean I missed picking the other day. It's, what are these, half runners? They were half runners, but one was probably mixed with something else, and it kept growing. There's some buds there. It may make beans, a few beans yet. Yep. Here's a squash vine that's still wants to grow. And okay, is there okay, there's that one. There was another one over. Okay, I'm trying to. There's a little. See, there's 2. That one's gonna rot. Kind of pumpkin-y squash things. A real late one. Okay, here's that one I know that's around. Just a little one. It's probably full-sized. Another volunteer tomato. This was a squash hill. Volunteer squash, and I put it down here. Got a few on it, so it kept me busy. Okay, I'm gonna go up to the front of the house and I'll take my water. I got a 2-gallon watering can. I'll show you later what I did with these watering cans. I took 2 watering cans earlier and I leaned over the creek bank and bailed out some water. It's been a pretty dry summer, and I've been pulling water from the creek for this potted stuff. And during the hot midsummer, I had to water plants twice a day, And now I've been getting by, if it don't rain once a day, to water these herbs. It's looking better now. Whew, that was all right. And this marigold, a bunch of marigolds that are growing. 8 viewers, I better be entertaining. Okay, these marigolds, they'll seed out and they'll drop down in here in this. This is like a kid's sand table for our kids. This thing is probably 20 years old. And it grows marigolds every year. And there's some chives in it too. So I just let it happen and let them grow, and I water them. And here's the rosemary. That's got to be taken in the winter. And marigolds decided to jump aboard, and I left them. I don't know why. And oregano. It's kind of what do you call it? Going slightly dormant. And here is some basil. I'm probably pretty much done with basil. I'll cut some more. I think it's just getting ripe. It's seeded out, and another marigold on board. And this, in the last several years, it seeds out, and I get this. The seeds will drop into the soil. And next spring, here's some heads that are just laying there. There'll be plenty of seeds next spring. There's actually a tomato. Boy, the foliage is dead, but there's a tomato on there that's got to watch it for getting ripe or drying out. Parsley, this, like the basil, was self-seeded, and I got a nice even population, and I'll probably take that in for the winter, because it's parsley is biannual, and next year it'll bloom, but it'll still have foliage to use, and herbs in the year. And here is thyme, and this was self-seeded too. We had a thyme. This been in here probably since like 2018, but it did die out once. But I said I waited. I was patient, and it did seed. A few plants came up, and I think this is the second or third year of it growing back. And there's chives. These chives been around since, like, I'll have to look back on my photos, but 2018, maybe 17, and nothing. This probably the only thing that hasn't died out. I think the rosemary is this one plant. There was 3 plants here, 2 died. This one's still here. It's almost like a bonsai plant. I clip it a lot to get a little rosemary for the chili pot. Yeah, I use these herbs in my chili and some other things, like my stews, just to use them. I think they add a little punch. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go look at the flowers. Got 17% battery left. And here's our driveway. We added, here's the date right here. I had these pots. They're on top of it, the date. And the date's kind of cool. You can read it from the top and the bottom is the same date. It's 12/22/21. You go over here, it's cool. This wasn't intentional. 12/22/21. So it reads both ways the same. But when the cement was wet, I found something in the junk drawer, and I said, well, that'll be a good stamp. It's like it was this long, and I stamp, and I did it kind of in a digital mode. Like this one took 2 stamps, and a few days later, I was looking at it from the backside. I said, "What's that say?" That's the same fucking date. That's just so cool. Okay. 12, 22, 21, and this is 12, 22, 21. It's just crazy, just unintentional. Okay, here is the kind of the make the what do you call it, the parking pad look better. And I planted volunteer marigolds here along the front, and I'm kind of disappointed in them. I was expecting them to be like down in the other garden. These giant marigolds are doing okay, but the small ones are kind of small, very small, and you know, they're doing their thing. And why are they smaller than the ones in the pots? So I thought, well, the ones in the pots were doing poorer than the ones in the garden. And I thought if I put them in real soil, they'll do better than the pots. But the ones in the pots in the same area are doing better than the ones on the ground. So I don't know what gives. And here's, okay, here is an avocado plant. I think this is 2 years old about now, or maybe a year and 4 or 5 months. So Nana likes avocados, and we throw it in the compost. The seed will sprout in the garden, and we just use them as just kind of fun. We're not gonna have avocados in East Tennessee, but they're fun to look at and take care of. And these got to go inside in the winter or they'll freeze. And here is a rescue flower that was over in the neighbors. I was mowing and I saw these little tiny pretty purple flowers, and I potted the plant and I brought it over. And it's a very long name, but some people call it million bells, and sometimes I count like towards 40 flowers on this. It's kind of backed off lately. It's probably having fun making seed. So I'm thinking maybe keeping some seed from it. So, and here is some more flowers, and these were part of that, I don't know, it was like 2020. Oh, it had to be 22 when we had a good dozen or so. We went to the nursery and got flowers, and this one looks really good. And I got to take these in the winter because they'll freeze. And this is what they call it, a shamrock. And it blooms on and off all the time, year round actually. I got to take that inside. And this one here is much the same thing as that other. Take that inside. And here is what they call a Mexican petunia. And to keep it alive, it'll crash on you it must take a lot. It's probably got a pour. I got a pour set up with it. Probably needs to be in a bigger pot, but I managed to keep it alive. It could be like 5-6 years old now. I think this is another nightshade. I think I transplanted that one, and I brought it up for tell the family, here, you can eat these. No, they're not going to eat them. I will. Here's another one of those. Looks like an aster or something. I don't know what it is. And some of these pots had a good 4 or 5 flowers in it, and a lot of them died out, and some remain. Now this weird grass here, We had it originally probably in this pot. It died, and I think it was like a 2-year interval where it wasn't there. And this year it showed up. Did it come up from seed, or did it just was dormant for 2 years? That's kind of weird. Here's another little, this has pretty flowers. I probably could treat it better and get it more sun or repot it. And it didn't flower much this year. Another avocado. This is our original one. I tried to kill it about 3 years ago. I didn't water it for like 4 or 5 days, and it pretty much dropped all its leaves, and I watered it back to life, and it likes to die back on you. It'll die, the top will die out, and this is actually a second growth. I think, yeah, this is the original growth, and when I tried to kill it, it sprouted back and it grew. Looks pretty good this year. And here's another, this is kind of a foliage plant. It's kind of a purpley, kind of cool volunteer marigold. And I still kind of say, why do these look good when half the time they need watering compared to the ones along the edge? I don't get it. And here, what they call this, Creeping Jenny. I wonder if that's winter hardy. I'll have to look that up again. I take in a lot of stuff in the winter. And here are some, these are like succulents. They're blooming. Yeah, they've bloomed all summer. I hardly water them. They really don't need much water. And they're like a desert adaptable. And here's this, I think they call this the Indian hot shot. This is what I took. I brought this plant over from the neighbors. They were evicted because the house caught fire. It wasn't their fault. It was another tenant. It was smoking in bed. You don't smoke in bed. Your sheets and they were evicted and they remodeled, and okay. And I got a lot of irises from over there too. I'm going to go to my raised garden. If someone watched this all the way through, they're crazy. No one's going to watch my video all the way through. Well, I didn't talk about this. This is another little succulent plant. It has, and it's barely hanging on. I mean, it's like I could have just gave up on it and said, you know, I can do something else. But it's still alive, and it has the prettiest pink flowers in the spring, I hope. And it likes to bloom in the house in the winter, so we'll see. And a Virginia creeper, just a vine, decided to hijack and get in the pot, and I use it as a mailbox cover, or just a it looks cool. It was a lot prettier early in the summer, but these are winter hardy. But I have to take this whole setup. I have to unwind this whole thing and take it in the house in the winter to keep that plant alive. So I have to accommodate this. I'm just, the thing is, I want this to live, but I also want it to die. But I'm trying to keep it alive because I have to take this whole mess in the house in the winter, kind of wind it in a ball and take it with this. This plant actually looks better than last summer at this time, but that's a big story about a mailbox plant. Okay, I'm going down here to the raised bed, and I didn't lose connection. What do we say? Oh wow, 80 minutes. Well, I'll watch this 3 years from now. I'll watch it myself and see if I'm improved as a gardener. Here's the neighbor's yard that I mow. Okay. Here are 6 giant Marconi peppers, and they're doing real good. I need to harvest these red ones. And there's a nice pear down there. A nice pear. Okay, 10% battery. Okay. Just peppers all over. And there's one here, one stalk here, and there's one over there, and they decided to merge. I just couldn't keep them apart. I mean, they're lovers. Yeah. Okay. So there's 3 there, and then there's this volunteer grape tomato. I could have, well, there was something over there I was going to show, but I won't this time. The neighbor had rabbits. In a rabbit cage, there's a bunch of these tomatoes growing, and they're starting to put tomatoes on. So I'm going to ask her, can I have those? But the birds it's likely the birds brought these in and pooped out a seed. And there was a lot of them tomatoes in this raised bed. It was in the dirt one way or another. So there's one laying on the, what can I do with this? I'm doing half my logistics. Okay, now it's up there. That's better. I don't have to step on it anymore. So these are about head high, and I tied them to the electric pole. And there's a lot of ripe ones on this one. Yeah, I need to get my pail down here in a couple days and harvest them. And we're getting a lot of them now, and I'll probably have to start freezing them and use them and cook. You cook with them, and I like to put them in the chili, and I do put them in my stew, so just to use them. And lots of them there, and they'll keep on putting peppers on for maybe another couple months. So there's going to be a good number more. So, and this is the raised garden bed. And this is where this is the tree I cut down, probably a 50-foot tall tree. Because when I dropped it, there's a corner post over with a tree stump, and I probably shouldn't have done it, but I dropped it, and the top of the leaves were in the fence here on the opposite side, and that's likely around 50 foot. So I dropped with a little 12-inch electric battery saw. I dropped a tree, and here is where it took a lot of cutting. And I used car jacks to push it. I put the car jacks against the fence over there, and hoping that the pole won't break, because I'd be in big trouble if I did. And I kept it from going the other way, and it fell this way. So shouldn't have done it, but I did it. I wanted more sun. I want some more garden sun. And then later in the last June, I think I cut that in April. Cut that one down, and I did cut a branch off of this taller stump and got more light. But then this towing place with all their junk cars, they trimmed too. They cut a whole they cut 2 trees here that I wanted gone, and well, that was this tree and that one covered with vines, and I wanted them gone. And I get a lot of good light late spring, midsummer, and they cut a lot on I get tons of light now. I can plant anything anywhere almost in the garden. Now next year are I'm down to 7. Okay, these are climbing beans, and they're starting to put out again. I watered them all summer, off and on when they needed it, and now there's getting to be a good number of beans again. They pretty much quit. Oh, look at this here. They pretty much quit blooming and putting beans on midsummer because it was hot this summer, hot and dry, and I watered it off and on just to keep them alive. And now they're rewarding me by giving some beans. And I like to take these and boil them, cut them up and boil them with potatoes. And then I'll take bacon and onions and saute them. And then after, I'll drain the taters and beans that were boiled, and I'll put them, and I'll put the bacon, and I add butter and the onions together, and it really tastes good. And I'm going to have some of that here ready. I'm going to have enough beans now for that here probably next week. I mean, I'll probably pick these maybe Saturdays or Sunday. So I'm happy. And if I'm smart, I'll try to save some seed, because these were part of a mix of seeds from Mama's, and it was a certain individual that he grew up on the fence over in the end of the main garden, and it did the same thing as this. This is probably like oh gosh, I think there was 11 at one time, 11 beans. It could be down to about 5 or 6 bean plants, and they like to grow sideways and everywhere. And I got some seed from last year from a plant, and I need to just find a few, let's see, and not pick them and save the seed. So, because I don't know if it could be just a thing where I don't know what kind of beans these are. All right, I'm done with the beans. Bean story over. And here's some more of those. They're mostly the grape tomatoes, and there's a bunch getting ripe. And I decided to quit watering them because I have to go bail out of the creek to do so. I'm going to keep watering the peppers, but these guys are on their own. Tomatoes are really drought durable. We're getting lower sunlight hours, and I think we're going to get into cooler weather next week. I think we're talking 90s, maybe today, tomorrow. See, that's even Saturday, and it's supposed to cool. Maybe get some rain, but I'm done watering these. And this is a different type of tomato, and I tell the story of that groundhog ate it twice, and it didn't give up. It ate it to the stem pretty much twice, and it may come again. I saw the groundhog last week, and I yelled at him. He ran. So he needs to learn to stay away. And I'll show you this before I quit. This poor tomato. Oh, that's another little. It's been ate off probably 3 times with a groundhog. I can see there's a little tomato on it, and there's a little bit of growth or foliage, and I thought it was gone. And it was growing. There was corn here, and it was really shaded out. And I thought when I get that corn out, chopped up, it will start to grow. But the groundhog liked to keep eating it. And here's another grape tomato volunteer. This is where it started. Those down there were transplanted. So, and it's rewarding me. and the groundhog liked him too. So I'm getting tomatoes now. All right, I'm gonna get in the shade here and sign off. If I still got 4%, and I had some cabbage in this part, and they died. And I don't know why. It just they don't like 95 degrees. I think they told me that. So next year I'm gonna put more different stuff in this raised bed, and I don't know what it's gonna be. I haven't really decided. Something that's groundhog, like root crops, will be fine. I hope groundhogs don't like carrots. That's kind of my concern. All right, I'll switch it around. 90 minutes, maybe the biggest video I've ever done. I'm getting hot and hungry. And thanks for watching in Jim Miller's Garden. I like doing these, and like and subscribe. Got 5 likes, and I hope I got a handful of subscribers this time. So thanks for watching.